Hello there my dear friends, and welcome back to the channel, but also welcome to the first video of 2026. It is I coming at you once again, your favourite galactic hostess, Star Wars Meg, and I'm wishing you a very happy new year. So, we're going to kick things off with some very exciting updates, and our main topic is Ahsoka Season 2. But as you're going to see, this connects to some other projects, because aside from what's already confirmed, more Shadow Lord, The Mandalorian and Grogu, maybe Ahsoka this year, but it could be pushed to 2027. I think what we're going to start seeing in the next couple of months are more announcements and more marketing campaigns. Why do I say this? From what I understand, Lucasfilm has been holding back on a couple of very important updates. StarWars.com recently teased a more Shadow Lord update sometime at the start of 2026. But not just this. I've been noticing a very specific trend with Lucasfilm and film announcements, and they tend to announce new movies in January. With The Mandalorian and Grogu, it was announced on January 9th, 2024, and with Starfighter, the trades announced that Ryan Gosling was in talks to star in Sean Levy's Star Wars film on January 21st, 2025. So if I were to make something of a prediction, again, they might not do this, it might be very premature. If they were to announce something new, it might be the 2028 Star Wars movie. And one of the reasons I say this is because both The Mandalorian and Grogu and Starfighter have finished filming. They're in the bag, they're done. We know the 2026 Star Wars movie and the one coming in 2027. So it might not be too much longer before they announce the 2028 film, if of course there is going to be one, which I think there is. And given how Dave Filoni confirmed that he started writing his movie during production of Ahsoka Season 2, I think his Mandoverse film is a pretty safe bet. There is currently a Lucasfilm Spring 2026 start date. Rumours have been claiming for quite some time it's going to be the Rey movie, the new Jedi Order film by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. But given the most recent comments by Daisy Ridley, I wouldn't be too certain about that. So my guess is probably Dave Filoni's film. It's pure conjecture based on a recent trend, but historically for the last 2-3 years, January seems to be the time this kind of information comes out. But regardless, I think we're in for quite a few announcements, and despite recent speculation that Ahsoka Season 2 is going to be pushed, we now have a brand new tease, a small indication that something for the show is coming pretty soon, probably a release date. On Instagram, Rosario Dawson posted a brand new selfie showing off the new Ahsoka Season 2 logo. Given the timing of this post, a New Year's Eve teaser, I reckon she knows something. She knows something is coming this year. And in addition to this, Bryce Dallas Howard, one of the directors of Ahsoka Season 2, has also opened up about it, describing it as the most fun she's ever had on any project. More fun than her work on Book of Boba Fett, The Mandalorian, Skeleton Crew, and even Jurassic World. And that is pretty surprising given some of her past comments. But she said, Ahsoka Season 2 was a magical experience. In the past, she described it as romantic and incorporates some of the galaxy's most fantastical moments. And that's exactly what you want from Ahsoka Season 2. It's the last remaining live-action Star Wars Disney Plus show, and I hate to say it, but Dave Filoni has to deliver. I usually say keep your expectations low, and to some extent, I am holding that true again in this instance, but given the way fans feel about Lucasfilm, given the apathy and the doubts, he can't deliver anything short of amazing. And I think he will. I predict this is going to be the show with all of the greatest hits, all the fan service, all the cameos, but I also should say, there is going to be a plethora of new characters. This season is really going to stand out. And another indication of big things to come very soon is that back in September, multiple journalists were invited to see the set. Empire Magazine, comicbook.com, Collider, Gizmodo, and they were given a full access tour. They got to pose with Ahsoka's lightsaber, and they were given exclusive details that they couldn't share at the time. They were embargoed, but they did state they would share them at a later time. And now that it's been a good few months, 2026 is here, look out for that. Because I don't think they would have invited all of that press just to have the show be pushed back to 2027. It doesn't make any sense. And something which has really gone under the radar is how impressive the scope of Season 2 is. Here's a very important quote from Dave Filoni. He said this, "And as much as we're exploring one side of the story on Peridea, half of the show is a really, really big battle. There's going to be a war in our Star Wars," he's talking about the known galaxy, "like an all-out throwdown on a scale as best as I can do it, as best as John and I can afford it." And he also teases the Mortis subplot by saying this, "Well yeah, we'll see. It's big. It's crazy. It's a complicated thing. It's a big mystery. The Sun statue is there. The Father's is there. most of the daughters is there, so we'll figure that out. Not giving away too much, but overall, whether you're talking about visuals, whether you're talking about the scale of this, we're getting improvements over season 1, and they're doing it on a budget. It is such a shame about the Great Mother situation, the fact that Claudia Black wasn't able to return, and let's be real, it's Disney's fault, but I'm still looking forward to this, and all I'm saying is, Dave really needs to follow through on his promises. But you know what? There was just enough at the end of 2025 to give me hope going into 2026. Much more than I was feeling this time last year. And I think the one thing that pushed me over the edge and has really surprised me the most is how quickly and without issue Starfighter wrapped. Lucasfilm is actually on track. That's pretty mind-blowing. And to quote Star Wars Newsnet, the main takeaway is that there's been a lot of movement behind the scenes. So I'm hopeful for a good year, and let's also keep our fingers crossed this is the first year without any major cancellations. And another thing I think we can expect in the first half of this year, although I will say we've been hopeful in the past and been wrong, is an update about Kathleen Kennedy. Last year she insisted that she wasn't retiring, but she will eventually be stepping down as Lucasfilm president. So if Lucasfilm behind the scenes is working on some big announcements, I'd expect that to be a major one. And who's going to take over? Word on the street is it's Dave Filoni or Carrie Beck, or both. Now, I just want to finish by talking about some community things. If you go to my channel and you click on posts, so it's just across from videos and playlists, every now and then I put out some fun polls and questions, and usually they're not very serious. When the TV shows came out, I asked you guys to rate the latest episode, but these days it's more fun questions about lightsaber colors and which Star Wars creature would you want as a companion, those kinds of things. But I've got one coming out in the next few days that I'm really looking forward to seeing the answers of, so I do encourage you to vote. And the question is this: you can only save one cancelled Star Wars project. The Book of Boba Fett Season 2, not technically a cancelled show, just one which didn't get renewed. The next option is The Hunt for Ben Solo. There are some very passionate fans who are dying to see that happen. The Acolyte Season 2, again, very controversial one, but I know it does have its fans. And finally, Jabba the Hutt: A Star Wars Story. So if you see that poll come up, please vote on it, or just let me know down below. Of all of these options, which one would you want to save? Book of Boba Fett Season 2 would be my choice, and I also think it's the most likely option. Even if it's not in the same format, even if they don't call it Book of Boba Fett Season 2 or whatever, I think these characters are going to come back, because some of them appear in The Mandalorian and Grogu, if you're talking about the Hutt twins, and Tamara Morrison is rumoured for Ahsoka Season 2. He might be Captain Rex, but I can't imagine Lucasfilm getting rid of Boba Fett. And this is the one project, out of all of the others, that they never gave an official update about. Hunt for Ben Solo is cancelled, The Acolyte is cancelled, and Del Toro's Jabba the Hutt has been dead for years. So I'm going to say Book of Boba Fett, and not just because it's the most likely to make a resurgence, but because it's got a lot of potential. I understand Season 1 was a bit of a convoluted mess, half Mando, half Boba Fett. There were some controversial choices with the mod gang, but character-wise, where Boba, Chrysanthemum and Fennec end at the end of the show, with Cad Bane supposedly dead, there's plenty of room for a great sequel story. And there seems to be an ongoing trend with Lucasfilm, where they make a first season that's average, mediocre, not great but with room to improve, but the ending sets up an even better story. This was the case with The Acolyte, and even the Kenobi show, Obi-Wan being trained by Qui-Gon's Force Ghost. So I still have hope for more Boba, but I'd love to know what you guys think. Share your thoughts on this and 2026 Star Wars in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, my friends, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, check me out on socials, and may the Force be with you, always.